I think the biggest thing when you're talking to a broad audience is they say, oh, that's not for me. That's for rich people, or that's for with people with money, and especially when it comes to income protection, and that's not the case. It's for anybody that needs to provide for somebody else. A lot of our plans, when I work with business owners, and sometimes they have stay-at-home homemakers, and they say, my wife, she doesn't need life insurance. My wife doesn't need life insurance because she's a homemaker. She takes care of the kids. And I say, hey, I completely understand. I completely get it. But let me ask you something. You're at work, and how many hours do you work? And they usually say, as a business owner, 50, 60 hours a week. So if something were to happen to your wife, what are you going to do? Are you going to continue to work those 50, 60 hours a week? And who's going to be there for the kids? See, having life insurance, on a family, whether it's a stay-at-home wife or not, is very important, because your kids will need you even more if something were to happen to their mother. And that means you can't work 50, 60 hours a week. The worst thing you can do is drown yourself into your work and leave your kids alone, right? And you don't want no one raising your kids but yourself. So, when you sit down with a AC Financial representative, they're able to ask you the tough questions to make sure you're covering all your bases. And so the quick answer when you're talking to people is, oh, I don't need that because, she doesn't work, or my husband doesn't work, so he doesn't need it. But we're not looking at the whole picture. We're not looking at the big scope of things and how these events throughout life can have this trickling effect. And so often I hear, man, Chuck, I wish I would have met you 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even last month. Let's face it. We all know somebody that's been diagnosed with cancer, stroke, or heart attack, right? We probably have all been to that spaghetti dinner. We've all probably donated to something. And if you're on Facebook, you see it. It's there every week. There's somebody fighting a battle. Cancer is a horrible disease. The good thing that I can say is that we are beating cancer today more than ever, which then brings in another aspect of why income protection is so important too, right? We're fighting cancer, we're beating cancer, we're living longer, our survival rate is up. So when you go to the American Cancer Society, the stats are leaning in our favor. We continue to work as a nation together to fight that horrible disease. But at the end of the day, when we beat it, when we defeat that disease, what's left, right? We still want to go back to a life. We don't want to be drowned in debt, We want to be able to go back to living our life how it was. And I think that's another great aspect of income protection. If we are diagnosed with cancer, if we have that heart attack, if we have that stroke, there's a great chance we're going to beat it. But what's the life that we go back to?